everybody.
All right. Live in 20 seconds, it says. But in case anybody's watching, hi. Hello, hello. Let's see if it's live. Hey, everybody. Touch of Magic. Yep, we are live. That is awesome. Hey, everyone. Just waiting for some people to come on. And I'm going to share this. Oops, see what I did? I did what I said not to do. And I'm going to share this into the event page. What are all you magic makers doing out there? I hope you're going to stay and hang out. We have a really cool Touch of Magic Live. I know I haven't been on in quite a while, and I'm so excited to be back. And I have some really interesting stuff, as usual, to share with you guys, and a really great book. And we are going to have a blast, but let me just share this onto the event page so that people on the event can see it too. And then we're going to get started. Okay. All right. Post. All right. 2 more minutes till it's 7, and then we're going to get started, everybody. I just wanted to make sure everything was working fine. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if in the chat. Hey, hello, Ezra. Hello, Greg. I see people. I love it. Hello, hello. We're going to wait for a few people to jump on. Hopefully we get some people on our broadcast today. And we are going to talk with the authors of an amazing new book, metaphysical book called Interviews with the Crystal Skulls, Ancient Secrets of the Multiverse, Unlocking the Healing Codes Within Us in the Hierarchy of Heaven. All right. I just want to see who's on. You know what? New software, guys. Sorry. Let's see who. Oh, yeah, we got people. A few people on. So, let's start. 1, 2, 3, go. Hello to all you magic makers out there. I'm Marissa D'Aradia, aka Sin City Witch, and this is Touch of Magic Live. I'm here today with authors Marguerite Pizzati and A.J. Ferrara, and they've written a book called Interviews with the Crystal Skulls. This is a newly released metaphysical book that's featuring channeled messages from multidimensional beings of light that are communicating through the energies of 9 crystal skulls. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard. So first of all, I had no idea that you could even do that. That's number one. And, I think that's amazing. And you can buy this book on Amazon. You can get it in Kindle or hardcover. You can download it right to your phone. Get the Kindle version. Easy peasy, right? There's a description in the video description for you to download it, and also a link to their page. Follow their page because this is the coolest stuff. And we'll keep up with the crystal skulls. We're also doing a Sin City Witches Zoom book club April 11th. If you want to jump on, just check out the page, and they will be there answering questions on a Zoom, not a public thing. So hope you will join us. So hello guys, welcome.
Hi.
Crystal skulls, multidimensional beings, aliens. This is crazy. I love it. It's amazing. So I want to dig in and get to know you guys a little bit better. So Marguerite, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for having us. I've been doing metaphysics on my path for the last 24 years. I do energy work, I do shamanic practices, and I've been gifted the crystal skulls. I worked in a metaphysical center for 15 years, and the owner gifted them to me about a year before she passed.
Wow.
So I've been working with them overall for 15 years. Now it's 20, but only recently started to really channel them. Use them on the grid. At the beginning, I wasn't into skulls. It was like, oh, now here they are.
Right.
They're part of me, I'm a part of them. So I'm still doing my healing work, soon doing my energy work, teaching classes.
Do you teach classes on how to talk to the skulls or channeling?
No,
okay.
classes.
What kind of classes?
Reiki.
Reiki. Okay.
You know, chakra classes, um, meditation. I do a meditation. So I'm still continuing the work that I did at the center, but I'm doing it on a smaller basis. Because I haven't, I'm not going back into a center. I feel that I'm not meant to go back into a center. And this channeling started to happen back in 2019, and then it just blossomed from there. AJ and I, we just started. We just started. So, so it's been a long journey, but an enjoyable one because it has changed. This path has changed my life. So
That's amazing. That is so
yeah.
great. I love that. I love that. So, AJ, what about you? What's your story?
Well, so as you know, I'm originally from New York. Actually, as is Marguerite, but we had never met each other till we were down here in South Florida. Been here for 26 years. I came down here to get into the health club business, which I was in for 20 years. The last 10, 11 years, I've been doing a lot of writing, screenwriting, book writing. I met Marguerite in a meditation class in 1998. Well, that kind of dates us, but that was a long time ago. That's where we first met. And when Marguerite says that this whole situation with the skulls it really did kind of sneak up on both of us. I saw the skulls in the center. You know, a lot of people think they're just like artwork or used for use in meditation individually. Never occurred to me that they might talk back. But I went to a meditation that Marguerite was running, I think it was actually in 2018. She had started doing skull meditations at her house. And I was a little skeptical, but she had told me that one of the skulls was very, very strong for healing. And so I went to that, and I did receive the healing. I was amazed. I went back a couple of more times, and it was right around New Year's on January 2019 that it came to me. They actually came to me in a dream and gave me the name of the book and said it's time for Marguerite to start spreading our message. And she had never channeled before, so we weren't quite sure what to make of it. But that's where it started. And we spent the next, I guess, 15 months doing sessions with each individual skull. At first it was a month at a time. After about 4 months they said go faster. And so we started doing a couple each month, and just an enormous amount of recorded information that blew our mind, really, because it was, we've both been in this community for a very long time. I'm a Reiki master also. I've read a library filled with books on metaphysics, but this struck me as being a lot of new information, things that we never heard before. It was mind-blowing in a lot of cases, but also extremely enlightening, and things that we saw, and it opened up things for me as I was going through the process with her, asking the questions. So it's been an amazing journey so far, and this is where we are right now.
All right. So you said something about healing. So there's healing that takes place through the skulls themselves. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They all have, depending on what the person needs at that moment, they will work with them. Halo, who is the rose quartz and has the halo on the side of her head that came up in her carving, is, rose quartz is the heart chakra. And it's about unconditional love for yourself, compassion, forgiveness, first and foremost for yourself, and then others. And when people come for healing, it often starts within ourselves. And forgiving ourselves for whatever, for having compassion for an illness. And she would just zoom right in there on that person. When I was doing them at the Center for Human Development, and in our healing room, there was a long credenza, and they were all lined up, just as they are now. And so I would turn them to to face them, and that energy just moves through that room into that person. So it's about holding on to that energy. You know, she, excuse me, she speaks about high frequency energy, holding on. When you receive any kind of energetic healing, be it Reiki, be it shamanic, we need to hold on to that frequency to help move that no longer serves us within us. We have to heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves. We know that from a holistic point of view, but they are here to help us help ourselves first and foremost, and then the collective. So hold on to your healing. When you do healing and you receive healing, hold on to that. Let it move through your body. See it moving and moving out the stuck energy, the heavy energy. As a practitioner, we're just the conduits, right? So we're channeling our Reiki, they're moving their energy in, and you're just there. You're accepting it as the person in front of you is. So they all have something different, because most fluorite, con is fluorite, blue is labradorite. So whatever your body is calling for healing, their energy starts to move into you. And I just do my hands-on thing. So the message really from her is to hold on to that energy and truly allow it to move through you. And since the energy is changing so much, we're now moving into a higher vibration, higher frequencies. You know, we're moving into truly heal thyself and being open to receive. We have to heal ourselves. It's manifesting at a higher rate. So healing can happen quickly if you allow it and you participate. You have to participate in your healing. You have to say yes. So
yeah, that's amazing.
That's
So, you know, I have a question though. My question is this. So crystal skulls, this is a thing like for a long time, because I was reading ancient crystal skulls. So channeling the skulls or using these skulls in this way, this is something that's been done for a long time. Could you maybe like tell me a little bit about that, and the people watching a little bit about that, because I know nothing about it. So
yeah, the history of the skulls, it goes way back. You know, everybody knows the story of the skulls from the Indiana Jones movie. Those are supposedly the original 13 ancient crystal skulls that are on the planet but aren't from this planet. Obviously, there are many skulls all around the world. The way they're categorized now is the contemporary ones, the ones that have been made in the recent past, are the newer ones. Old skulls are considered to be 100 to 1,500 years old, and then the ancient ones. The difference, and as we saw personally when we met with Max, the ancient crystal skull, is that the ancient ones, there are no carbon marks. And in the case of Max, and they can't even estimate Max's age because there's no way to make that judgment. There's no carbon marks on the skull, and to be in the presence of that skull, it was pretty amazing. But the skulls in the sessions that we were going through, they basically talked about this a little bit. They said they gave the carvers the inspiration, but the carvers used their own inspiration and translated that into the skulls. In other words, they didn't intend for the stone that they would be coming through to be skull shaped, but that was the way the carvers interpreted the inspiration.
So they were channeled. They channeled that energy, and these
Correct.
are different carvers all over the world that did the same thing.
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
And a lot of people have hypothesized that the skulls were actually like mini computers that held held information inside of them. There's been a lot of books that have talked about it from that standpoint, and we went in with open minds, and we found out that it was something quite different.
So is there a difference between the skulls that are ancient skulls that have no markings on them than the ones that, you know, you buy in the store, like my little skull here? And he's got, you know, you can tell he was carved and he's definitely new. But is there a difference in those skulls to the ancient skulls?
Not from an energetic standpoint.
Okay.
In other words,
All right.
the light beams that are coming through in Marguerite's skulls, you know, they're higher dimensional light beams. You can't even put a time frame on the age. They talk about many dimensions, many universes, and then later they tell us you can't really put a number on it. It's infinite universes and infinite dimensions. So the time is a structure that we have. They don't deal in you know, they're not in a timeline like we are.
Well, energy doesn't have timeline, right? I mean, in general, right?
Right.
All right. Wow, that is really, really cool, and I love that. And I love that my skull is just as awesome as the old ones.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So I have a question for Marguerite. When I was reading the book, I saw they all have different names, and they all have different personalities. And I think that is awesome. Would you introduce these skulls to everybody and to me, like personally, now I get to see them in person? Could you do that?
Okay. So this is Khan. And Khan is fluorite. He's just a little bit quieter, although he has given us lots of information. He is more green fluorite, and he came with halo. The guardian who had them before said that they wanted to be in a healing center. And Barbara Simon, who was the owner of the center and my boss, found them online and said, I have a healing center. So she purchased them and brought them to us. And this is Halo.
My God, that is huge. That is a giant skull. Wow.
Oh, there's some that are much bigger, but these are just the right size. So you see her halo here? That came up in her carving.
Wow.
Can you see that?
That's beautiful.
So they came together. So she's heart chakra, she's the love. Sorry for my back.
Oh, that's
this
okay.
Is blue. Blue is labradorite. Can you see his blue?
Well, he doesn't look quite blue, but labradorite is blue, but it's not quite blue, right? Because I get a piece of it here.
Yeah,
and it's not quite blue, right?
But his third eye, when in December 21st of 2012, when we were, according to prophecy, supposed to be off planet, I brought all the skulls out of the healing room and did a grid for our Friday night meditation and healing service. And ever since then, I've always had grids, whether for my Reiki circle or for Friday night. And his blue, this blue here started to pop.
I can see the blue now. Yeah, you know what? I couldn't see it because of the lighting. Look at that. You see that, everybody? That is a beautiful blue. Look at that. That's amazing. Wow. Wow, wow.
So his blue started to pop. This is Zorian. He is a more recent skull. He's orange calcite with gray jade.
Wow. Oh, beautiful. Look at
He
that.
was carved in China. He's from China. He was carved in China. I was told he sat with two ancient skulls for about 2 years.
Wow.
But his energy was a little different than the rest of them, so I had to put them in council so that they can speak to one another and integrate their energies, which was pretty funny.
Really?
Well,
Did they not
I
get
think
along? I don't understand.
he's more ET. They're like,
Oh, okay.
even though they're ET, they're a different kind of ET.
All right.
Um, and I just thought that was funny because I'm like, where did that come from? You know, like, okay, I'll put you in council with everybody.
Zoraida is really interesting because he was the first skull that we talked to who said he came from a different universe.
Oh, really? Wow.
And he talked about the universe, and when he stepped through into our universe, it just it was an amazing conversation.
That, I'm sure it was. Is it in the book?
It's in the book.
Ah,
Totally
you
described in
guys
the
got to
book.
grab the book. Amazon.com. Grab the book and check it out.
And this is Antithum. He is lepidolite.
What is that? What kind of stone? That's beautiful.
Lepidolite.
Lepidolite. Okay.
Lepidolite
Wow.
right now is,
Oh, I'm drawn to that.
yeah.
What is that good for? What energy does that hold in it?
That right now it's calming people. People are so stressed for the last year with this COVID. They've been buying lepidolite like crazy. It has lithium in it, so it helps quiet the mind chatter. It helps you just calm and relax and move that anxiety out. So if anybody is stressed out, and lepidolite is,
That's probably why I'm so drawn to it. I'm a little high energy lately. Nerves.
these are rhodonite. These are the twins.
The twins. Look at that.
This is Casper, and this is Maya.
Okay. Wow.
They used to be known as Paquito and Rosita because we didn't know their names. So this is rhodonite, heart chakra.
In a few cases, they corrected us on what their names really were.
Oh, did
Yeah.
they?
Yes.
They corrected you.
Yeah.
Wow.
They certainly did. This is Earth. I named him Earth, Stromatolite. He's Stromatolite.
Stromatolite. Okay.
He's brown and beige, and so I just called him Earth. These white lines, if you can see the white lines.
Tilt his head down a little. So there you go.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Those lines came up when he was on the grid, because they all came out, they were all on the grids. He holds the ley lines of the planet. He holds all the grids.
Oh, all the ley lines. Wow. Oh, Earth. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
All that white started coming up because of the grids that he was sitting on. So he connects everybody. He's also the translator for Z and the rest of the skulls.
The translator.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes Z kind of has a different way of speaking,
Okay.
and so Earth seems to be able to do the translation.
Very interesting. Wow.
And this is Mo.
Mo.
Mo is 22 pounds of fluorite.
And he's obviously fluorite, right? Beautiful. My goodness. Look at that. What a magnificent piece that is. Amazing.
And Mo anchored the energy of the center. He was the anchor of all of the energy. He just held that space for us and for everyone there. Woo.
All right. So their personalities kind of correlate to the different type of stone they're in. Is that correct?
No, some of them have some very funny personalities.
Okay.
Mo has a little bit of a dry sense of humor.
Okay.
And Earth says a few funny things too. So when I channel, I sometimes laugh and when I come out, I'm like, you should have seen what they showed me, and that was so funny, and or they say something that's so us, and it's just.
So I have a question, Marguerite. Who
Uh-huh.
who are they? Like what is it? I know they're crystal skulls, and you're channeling energy through them, but obviously that energy is coming from somewhere. So like, are they discarnate souls? Are they humans?
No.
Are they? Because I don't think everybody knows, what you're channeling when you're channeling through this, and I don't 100% get it. So if you would tell me, I would love it, and tell everybody else.
They have they have never incarnated into human form. They are pure energy. They come from different universes, like Lyra. Um,
Zorathin.
Zorathin comes from a universe almost at the end of the universe. He took me on a beautiful trip to the end of the universe. And it was, quite an emotional journey for me.
Okay. Wow.
They, yeah, they've never incarnated. We've asked them if they've ever have been in human form, and they have not.
So it's pure energy.
Pure energy, and they were here, some of them were here pre-Lemuria, and they told us about the coming of Lemuria. So they were energy. They were just pure energy, crystal, like almost like stardust. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
That's how you described it. There's a chapter in the book called The Hierarchy of Heaven, and this is the chapter where we asked some specific questions about what you're asking, Marissa.
Okay.
You have to think of it in terms of infinite numbers of dimensions.
Got it.
Infinite numbers of beings across multiple universes, and these beings were at the beginning. We're very close to the beginning of everything. The best way to describe it is the way they describe it as there are many different hierarchies. The angels in this universe have a hierarchy. This group that came together on this planet came from many different places. And when Marguerite asked them towards the end of this, he said, we've got all of your names, but is there some way we can refer to you as a group? And that was when they told her that you could refer to us as the Light Collective. But when you
The
read
Light
this
Collective,
chapter,
wow.
The Light Collective.
I love that.
When you read this chapter and learn the way they express the different hierarchies, some of it makes sense and some of it's surprising. At this point, they started allowing some ascended masters to come in. Saint Germain, Jesus, Mother Mary came in at different times and gave messages. Metatron came in. A lot of people think.
Wow. So you were channeling those energies through the skulls.
Yes.
Wow.
And some of the most amazing information came through there, and in that session. But we have to get away from thinking of it as just who are these, beings that we don't see in higher dimensions on Earth. It's so much bigger than that. It really is. And
so it's not interdimensional beings, it is energy beings. It's bigger than that.
They're light beings.
Light beings. Oh, okay.
Yes, that would be the best way to describe them. We even asked the question at one point, it's a tough question to ask, but, if the Creator was a thought and brought all of these beings into, alive with a thought, where did the Creator come from? We asked that question. I can't even describe the answer. You have to read it to see, because a lot of it is what you'll interpret from the words, not just the words themselves.
Oh, that makes sense. All right. Wow. So you mentioned Lemuria. I'm not saying it right. Lemuria.
Lemuria.
I've heard of Atlantis. I know that was mentioned in the book, but I wasn't really familiar with Lemuria. Lemuria. I'm sorry, guys. Whatever the L word that you said.
That's okay.
So could you tell me a little bit about what that is? Is that a place similar to Atlantis, or?
Yeah, so it's pre-Atlantis. It's Hawaii could be considered Lemuria. That's part of what was Lemuria. They were more, we didn't get dense. We didn't become this until after Atlantis. So we were very etheric, if you will, very light particle that came to this planet. And they worked in different ways. They seeded a lot of this planet. And then they moved into Atlantis. Things were, everything went through an evolution. And then Atlantis.
Okay, and Atlantis.
Yeah.
Atlantis has an Egypt connection, right? From
At the end, yes.
At
Yeah.
the end, yes. At the end, people they scattered all over, the ones who did not pass in the end, and they went on to Egypt.
wow.
The two things I would add to that were when you talk about Lemuria and Atlantis, you also have to think of it in interdimensional forms, because they talk about different. There are three different stages of Lemuria and Atlantis, and the stages were in different dimensions. The first part of Lemuria was in 6D. Then some of those light beings that inhabited that, because they came from all different parts of the universe to experience that. The second phase was in 5D, and that's when some of the light beings started to take physical form. And then the last stage was in 4D. And then when they moved to Atlantis, same thing, 5D, 4D, and then 3D at the end. And the book gets into detail, we don't have time for it here, but as that all relates to the different processions of the equinox and the 26,000 year cycles, and when Earth is going into the dark and above the photon belt into the light. So there's an explanation of that, and it does make sense. It correlates with what they're talking about in the different cycles of Lemuria and Atlantis.
Okay, wow. Well, so I have some reading to do on Lemuria, so I can learn a little bit more about that. And I'm always fascinated by Atlantis and the Egyptian connection there. So that's awesome. I'm a little confused though, and I don't know if anybody else might be, but I'm going to ask you a question. So, are these energies alien energies? Because I noticed in the book you talked about the Palladians, the Syrians, and galactic matters, in different alien forms. Are these are all alien energies? Is that, or is it's bigger than that, right?
That's an Earth concept.
Okay.
They talk about some of them, their origins. I forget which one now, but one of them was originally from the Lyra galaxy.
Right. Yeah.
In our the Lyra system in our galaxy, but there's also a universe called Lyra.
Okay.
And we asked, are you talking about the system or a different galaxy and a different universe? And they said a different universe. So there's two ways to look at that. But they don't look at it that way. Because they're just, when they talk about infinite dimensions, infinite universes, infinite numbers of races, different types of living entities all across the spans of space and time. So when they talk about the Pleiadians and the Syrians, they're talking about more recent and within a framework of Earth history.
Right.
Who are physical beings either in 3D or possibly 4 or 5D, but have taken physical form, unless they've already ascended.
Okay, and you're saying there's like millions of different alien races or multidimensional races, whatever you want to call it, but there's
Yes.
millions of them.
We
Wow.
were reprimanded for trying to put a number on it.
Yeah. Well, that's very human, huh? Human of us
That's
to try to
exactly
do.
right.
Yeah. And why do you think these energies are drawn to the skulls? Because of the crystals, the energy held within the crystals, or the shape of the skull? What is it that you feel like draws that energy to it?
When they were here, when they came to this planet, and there was some destruction starting to happen, they went into the ground, they went into the earth. And so when the planet started to evolve and the carvers found the stone, I'm sure they didn't know that they were pulling up fluorite or, but they took the form of a stone in the earth.
Okay.
It's like they all went under, some of them went underground, if you will.
Okay.
And did the work there. Some left the planet, some went to other planets, but a lot of the energies went into the ground.
That's fascinating. That is really interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the messages that you get. We're not going to get too much. We want people to read the book, so but I wanted to ask, what's the most surprising message that you've gotten? Like, something that surprised you the most that you heard while channeling this?
I think I was surprised by it. I mean, it sounds crazy, but by it all.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like, when I channel, I don't really remember what came out. And so AJ would say, "Do you remember when you said this?" I'm like, no. No.
No, I don't.
So I was really, the messages, some of it we knew, as AJ said, it was something we've heard. Being on this path for 24 years is something we've heard. But how it came about, we got more of the history of it. And so that was surprising. But just that they're using me and using my voice to give the information to the collective was just overwhelming and truly heartfelt. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, I said this, and I keep reading the book over because it's like every time somebody questions, I'm like, oh my God, this really was said. So
Right.
the whole book for me, the channeling was really what amazed me about it.
Yeah. Well, channeling is incredible to begin with, but to be given these types of messages must be very overwhelming. Because I channel also, and you don't remember everything. But I don't channel interdimensional beings. I've never done that before, or aliens. I may try. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see after. But I don't know if I can. But and I'm always like, wow, it's so amazing. But to have something that could help humanity in this way must be overwhelming completely. I can't even imagine. Did you ever channel any messages that were disturbing to you, like that made you worry, or made you concerned for humanity, or for anything like that?
They go into detail.
What?
They go into detail in a couple of cases about. You got to remember that most of this work was in 2019 and early 2020.
Okay.
So it was before all of the things that have happened to us in the last 15 months as a planet.
Right.
But they gave us warnings, and they talked about a 5-year period, and they talked about a war that we would experience that wouldn't be like a war that we ever saw before. It would be in the etheric.
I did read that.
And that it would be, we asked, how would we know? How will we know what's happening? And they said exposure of the darkness, the seeds of darkness. They were really specific about, without getting specific about what we should be looking for from a feeling standpoint, from an energetic standpoint. They didn't get into specifics of what was actually going to happen, except for one or two cases, which were really interesting. But they said they picked out a 5-year process starting in 2020 through 2025.
Wow.
But they did say peace will prevail.
Well,
So
peace.
the message was
The balance has to be restored.
It was a warning of sorts, but it was positive.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as there's a positive spin on it, no
Yeah.
apocalypse today, right? Good.
No apocalypse at all.
I hope not. All right. So, let's see. I wrote some questions, so I'm going to look and see if I got all of them for you. All right. So, what do you think the ultimate purpose of them giving you all these messages is for? Like the ultimate purpose that they have for you to spread the word, or is there some other bigger purpose?
It's to help humanity evolve.
Okay.
And help them evolve. We are evolving, but it's to truly see ourselves in the world, in the earth, like they're talking about the new earth. We are the creators of that new earth. And so they're helping us to understand that for ourselves and what we want to put out there and how we want to start this new earth, create this new earth after some of the tumultuous years. How do we do that? How do we bring peace now after we go through a lot of turmoil? Who, what, where? How do we do that? We're learning community. We're bringing communities together. We're learning. But more and more people will gather to create the new earth. So they're helping us understand what it can be, because it was once that way. So now we need to bring it back, if you will.
Okay. Well, that's a good reason for them to be talking, right? To bring some peace and balance to the world. I love that. That's great. So, can anybody channel these energies or contact beings that are maybe not the ones that you're channeling? But is this something anybody can learn how to do, or is this something people should even try to do? Because I know people are going to try to, they're going to read the book and be like, I wonder if I can channel, beings as well.
I think that if you have a skull, or a skull calls you or attracts you when you're walking through a store, just like a stone will, that skull wants to work with you. If you keep going back to that skull, and you keep going back and go, no, I'm not going to buy you, I'm not going to buy you, and then I'm buying you. Okay. They want to work with you. They want to work with you maybe on a project. Maybe they're there to help with your healing. Maybe they'll help you open up to channel. Or you never know you'll know what they want to work with you on. They'll tell you their name. They will, you'll start talking to them. And so it's a matter of just working with the energy of them and see where it takes you. They may have you channel a book that you've been kind of rumbling around in the back of your mind, and you haven't been able, to really step forward to start putting it on paper. They may push you to do that. So just allow whatever comes when you work with that skull to come. Don't go in with I never knew that I would actually channel these skulls at all. I loved them. I worked with them in a healing capacity. But as I started to build grids on a Tuesday night or a Friday night, it was just like, okay, he wants to go here. They want to go there. Build this up. Put this here. And it was strictly intuitive. I never thought that I would be channeling them and who and what has come through them. And so I am truly honored and grateful for them that they chose me to do that. And so I have that responsibility of putting out there, you know, it is truth. It's truth. Um, and so I didn't have an expectation. Don't have an expectation. If your little skull doesn't want to talk to you at this moment, it's probably just getting used to the energy that it's in. Your house, your apartment, your office, where you have them. And then one day you're going to be sitting there and all of a sudden they're talking and now you got to sit there and write down stuff. So just be open and allow whatever comes through to come through.
Okay. All
What
right.
I would suggest.
I would just add to that they did say more than once in these sessions that they are speaking now because they want to reach as many people as possible. The phrase they use is one soul at a time, but they do want to talk to many people. And that's one of the reasons why we put color pictures of each skull in the book. At the start of each chapter, you'll see a picture of each of the skulls, and it really does pop off the page. It's amazing. And we noticed, even during the manuscript time, that reading the manuscript, you could feel the energy coming off the page every time you saw a color picture. The other interesting thing is that we on 2 different occasions, Marguerite took the first picture. I got another one during the conjunction back in December, where they physically showed themselves as light bodies. And the picture that Marguerite took, and she could tell you what the circumstance was, but she caught 3 of them right in front of her house. And I showed we put the original picture next to a blow up of one of them. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, some people have some questions. We have some chat questions. You ready for that? All right. So Teresa Chavez would like to know, is there a main reason to have or get a skull? Is there a reason?
No. It's like buying a stone. If it's calling you or you need to work with it, it will attract it. Some people still can't wrap their heads around a skull. They still think it's, you know, crossbones and poison. And,
Right.
you know. But if there's one that's attracting you, by all means, purchase one, look at them, see if they're talking to you, because they will talk. You know, like, I want you to buy me. Please.
All right. Well, she also wants to know what's the difference between getting a crystal skull or just a regular crystal. Is there a difference?
It's just the shape. It's carved in a skull, whereas a crystal can be a free form, or it can be a flame, or it could be a platonic solid. It's still quartz.
Okay.
It's still a quartz. Yeah.
And we got another question here. It says it's coming from your page. It says interviews with the crystal skulls. And it says, how can people best prepare their mind and hearts for working with crystal skulls?
I think for me, it's the same way that you would get yourself ready to sit in meditation.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just, protect yourself. I always talk about using discernment for the messages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm a Capricorn, so I'm always like asking double questions, right?
Right.
But yeah, use discernment. If the message doesn't resonate, throw it out. But prepare yourself when you meditate. Prepare yourself when you're talking. But sometimes, I know from my crystal skull, this small one, this rose quartz, sometimes I'll walk in to sit down and just meditate, and they just start talking. Get a pen and start writing.
Okay. So is it kind of like automatic writing, that process of automatic writing when you're doing that?
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. If anybody else has any questions, please make sure to add it to the chat. Might be a delay because I'm using a different software. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm very excited. If you've got any questions, shoot them in there on the chat. Marguerite, would you like to? Do you feel led to channel at all the skulls for the video and for the people, or are you? Because I want you to do it if you're feeling like organically that's the right time, and if not, we could do it a different time. We could do a whole channeling with Marguerite video if you want.
Just let me tune in and see what they want.
Okay. Yeah. See if they have any. If they don't have any messages, then they don't. But if they do, it would be kind of cool. What do you guys think, who are still watching, about Marguerite doing a little bit of channeling from the skulls? If she can pull that energy through, and they want to talk, they may not want to talk. I don't know how temperamental interdimensional beings are. So
let's give her a minute or two. But
yeah.
I wanted to mention, you asked Marguerite a question about what was the most surprising thing.
Oh yeah.
So for me, there were so many I can't even begin to count. But one of the ones that jumped out at me had to do with reincarnation. And the best way to describe it is, like if you imagine that you're standing on a platform and you're looking down at a road, and if you go from left to right, your field of vision, going from ancient times deep into the future, right? So now you're standing on the platform, trying to decide where your next incarnation is going to be. And the message there was that when we reincarnate, it's not in a linear timeline. You can reincarnate, your next life could be in the past, or your next life could be in the future. You can choose.
Wow.
That, right. I was like, wow, also. And that's why sometimes people can, they believe that they had a life in future, as opposed to in the past.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
That makes
because
sense.
You're coming from a place of no time into a specific timeline, and you can choose where you want to go. That message was pretty amazing to me.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story, which, now that you're saying that, is kind of crazy. Well, you know I have heart issues because, I don't know if you guys know, AJ's my cousin and my godfather, just by the way. My device, I have a defibrillator in, and it's only gone off one time. So the one time that it went off, I was sleeping. And the last thing that I remember before it went off, I was at Grand Central Station trying to figure out what train to go on. Which is kind of crazy because you're talking about, like different places you can go, trying to figure out where I was going to go. And then, bam, it got me. And I thought, what a weird imagery. Like my body, was going into, a bad situation. And that's what my brain came up with. So maybe it was my soul trying to figure it out, I remember clear as a bell, Grand Central Station, and you know how they have all the tunnels and there's the middle part, and I'm trying to figure out which tunnel I want to go into. It was so weird. That was the weirdest part of that experience. Believe it or not, that was the weirdest part of that experience. I was like, what a crazy situation. I'm like, I guess I got to pick where I was going afterwards. So that aligns with what you just said. That's amazing. That is really cool. Anyway, so people definitely want to see the channeling. So I hope that'll happen.
That's the Grand Central thing is very interesting because I used to have dreams about being trapped in a subway that was flooding.
Oh.
And it took me years before I realized that was an Atlantis dream.
Oh, wow. Wow.
One night I had a dream when after all these years of having this dream every once in a while that it was a subway. Then one night it flipped, it wasn't a subway anymore. I actually saw that it was a tunnel, and I realized that it was Atlantis.
Oh, wow. Sometimes, our subconscious comes through with these messages in our dreams, and you're like,
right.
It's crazy. You're really connected in that dream state, boy, for sure. You're privy to information you're not in your waking times. How we doing, Marguerite? You good? Okay, so Marguerite's going to channel for us, everybody. So, yay.
Just ask everybody to just relax. Take some nice breaths. Just relax into your breath. We are so glad to be here. Thank you for welcoming us. You can feel your love. It is overwhelming to our guardian. You ask some beautiful questions, and there is a lot of answers. Some you will find very interesting, and some you will know in your heart of hearts. Continue to move on your paths. You are much needed at this moment in time, on so many levels. You may not even know what it is you will need to do. Open your hearts, follow your soul. There are people who are awakening and need some guidance. There are some who are leaving the planet as this energy is very strong. And they may need to be guided. Don't say no. Help them as best you can. Remove any fear that you may be carrying. There is nothing to fear. It may seem like it with all that is happening. And your media is putting it out there. And you're talking amongst yourselves. Please, don't do that anymore. There's beautiful energy coming. You are protected. You will be the future. You need to be the future. Make whatever changes you need to make. Let go of all that no longer serves you. And do not fear letting go of what no longer serves you. Because the best is coming for you. Continue to love yourself unconditionally. Thank your body for holding you up and supporting you. Continue your journey. The heavens, the angels, all of the light beings are so proud of the work that is being done. We are here to hold that space for you. We're here, we're standing behind you. So know that, feel that. Connect to us if you feel guided. We will give you the strength to move forward. The message has always been love. Has always been love. You will find it, and you will share it. And that is what we're here to help you do. For we love you also. The light beings love you. Continue much gratitude. We thank you for taking us into your heart. And we wish you many blessings. Thank you.
Whoa. I feel like that message so hit my heart. And I don't know if it hit anybody else. I needed to hear that right now, today, in this moment. I'm about to cry. Literally. Literally. What a beautiful message. Thank you so much, Marguerite. That was beautiful. I hope you guys were able to catch that. This will be posted on all the pages if you want to go back and listen to that message. But it was a profound, beautiful message that I think we all need to listen to again. Thank you so much. So this was an amazing interview, guys. I am so excited to be able to do this today with you. If you have not,
thank you enough.
yeah, if you,
Yes.
oh, you're so
You did
welcome.
great.
This was great. If you have not gotten the book, it's called Interview with the Crystal Skulls. This is Marguerite Pizzati and A.J. Ferrara, who are the authors. Any of my locals who come to the Zoom meetings we do on Sin City Witches, please, we're doing a book club, special edition book club on this book, and they will both be there, and we'll be able to talk on Zoom instead of doing the chat thing. You'll be able to like ask questions right there, and we can talk about a little more in depth about the book. But please grab the book on Kindle. It's on Amazon, or order it. It's beautiful. The pictures are gorgeous. They went out of their way to make sure they had the best pictures that you can get in this book. And yeah, and follow their page. Interview with the Crystal Skulls. Go over there, click like, follow their page, keep up with what's going on with this. Hopefully they'll be doing a book tour soon when everything opens up. What do you think? Maybe.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. And thank you. And as always, don't forget to be the magic, because you are the magic, and that's a fact. Brightest blessings to everybody. Please be sure to share, like, subscribe, and follow Touch of Magic on Facebook, on YouTube, and like Sin City Witch too, because that's me. And we'll have some more cool metaphysical content, and hopefully we'll do some more lives very, very soon. Anyway, love you all, and thank you.